In this video, I'll show you exactly what to look for. Not just the 3-bar reversal confirmation setup, but the candle itself and the best place to find it on the chart. Once I started waiting for this confirmation, my entries made a lot more sense. Let's take a look. But I noticed that price had come up to this area of supply. So I marked out the area, the last push up before the aggressive push down from pre-market. So earlier that day, around 7:30, we had a strong push down. And then I noticed that price came back up into the supply and created an engulfing candle here. And so that was an opportunity to enter the trade. But we know that since we are trading above the EMAs and we know that NAS is very bullish right now, that this would only be a quick scalp to the downside. Once this candle completed, and that's when we entered the trade. I noticed that there was some liquidity resting below. Another thing that we can notice here is that we've got a double top. And this is also what some people call a head and shoulders. This would be the first shoulder here. We've got a head and complete the second shoulder. And so that was the idea as well. And so we had a head and shoulders pattern. A double top. A tap back into supply. And an engulfing candle. Once we reached this area, there was a 3-bar reversal. All right, so let's watch this trade in real time. Okay, it's time to review the trade we just took and get ready to put it in our journals. All right, so we've noticed the pattern here, and we can call this a head and shoulders, or we could think of it as a double top. So we noticed the pattern forming, and we also noticed that price had tapped back into a supply zone that had been created during pre-market this morning around 7:30. Okay, so we've got our pattern drawn here, and we have our EMAs on, showing that this is going to be a quick scalp because we're trading above or right at the EMAs. And we'll go ahead and show with our tool the stop loss, where we entered, and then also the take profit area. So we can use our short position tool. Okay, so when we look back at this to study later on, we'll know exactly where we took the trade. Okay, and then next we're going to want to go ahead and list our confluences. And so you see that we listed them earlier, but it's fine to go ahead and list them later too so we can get them ready for our journal. We had a tap into supply, and we had that strong push down during pre-market, so we want to be sure to write that down. We had an engulfing candle, and remember that the engulfing candle needs to be in the supply zone, so that's where it counts. And we also had a 3-bar reversal that followed that engulfing candle. And this 3-bar reversal should also be found near the supply zone or the demand zone. Okay, so be sure to keep that in mind. So we're not just trading based off of the 3 candles. They have to be in the right spot. So they've got to be either in or near supply or in demand, either right near support or right near resistance. Okay, so it's got to be at a key level. We also noticed that there was a head and shoulders pattern that we mentioned before, and we wanted to keep in mind that we are only going for base hits. Okay, and then we'll use our short position tool to show where we took the trade, and then it'll be ready for our journal. If this simple, structured way of teaching resonates with you, then consider subscribing. We have videos every week. Trade mindfully.